This is the South Central Texas Summer 2020 Seasonal Outlook. Today's date is Thursday, July 9th. My name is Brett Williams. I am the climate focal point here at the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Austin, San Antonio, and we will go ahead and get started. Before we get into July and the rest of the summer, let's go ahead and look and see what happened back in June. June was slightly warmer than normal at San Antonio and Austin, much warmer than normal at Del Rio and portions of the Rio Grande and out west toward Valverde County. But it was a dry month for essentially all of South Central Texas, in fact quite dry for much of the region. So looking at the 30, 90, 180, and 365 day rainfall as of July 6th, so a few days ago. This is the percent of normal rainfall for 30 days. Again, this is basically most of June into the first few days of July. And you can see that pretty much all of the region was below normal for rainfall, with a lot of portions of the region well below normal. Only a few pockets of near to above normal stick out. Here it's just kind of south of Austin, kind of Austin metro area, and then this little pocket here near Maverick County. And then again across Lavaca County. But most of the region was drier than normal over the last 30 days. Looking out now to 90 days, so the last 3 months, again you can see most of the region is below normal, outside of a few pockets here, again kind of the Austin metro, South Austin metro, small pocket here across Gillespie County, and then a few areas across the coastal plains and south of San Antonio. 180 days, so half a year. At this point, we start getting a little bit more of a mixed bag. A little bit above normal rainfall for a large portion of the hill country. Again, South Austin metro area, even in Comal County, and then areas southeast of San Antonio. But then when you look at the 365 day, so the last year, pretty much all the region has been below normal for rainfall over the last 365 days. So what does all this mean for our drought outlook? Well, the recent hot and dry weather has brought drought back. So drought is intensifying, especially across the Rio Grande Plains. Here you can see we have a fairly large area of D2 severe drought as well as D1 moderate drought across this area. And it's starting to expand further east now. So we can see this D0 here, abnormally dry, is expanded east now to pretty much all Bexar County. And then looking up here we have an area D0 across Llano, Burnett, Williamson, portions of western Travis, and a small little nose there of moderate drought across portions of Williamson and a small sliver of Burnett County. And we will see drought further expand and intensify in coming weeks unless we start receiving some rain, especially with how hot we have been and we are now and will be here in the near future. So drought is coming back, intensifying, expanding, and that will likely continue here over the next few weeks unless we start getting some rain. So looking at the temperature outlook this summer, this is from the CFS model, the climate forecast system. It's a mid to long range model. It's not gospel by any means, of course, no model is that, but can give us a little bit of an idea for what we're looking at here in the next couple months for temperatures. And it suggests warmer than normal temperatures. This is for July, August, and September, so the next 3 months. Now taking a look at the precip or the rainfall outlook again from the CFS model, and it shows a pretty strong signal for a drier than normal time period here in July, August, and September. So looking in the more short term, this is from the Climate Prediction Center. This is the 6 to 10 as well as the 8 to 14 day outlooks. This takes us all the way through July 22nd. These images were made yesterday, July 8th. And in the 6 to 10 day outlook, you can see favored for above normal temperatures as we have this ridge of high pressure just to our west. And that actually continues through the 8 to 14 day, although a little bit less so for our area in the 8 to 14 day. And then for precip, below normal precip in the 6 to 8 again, you can see this ridge of high pressure to our west. And then as we get to the 8 to 14 day, it kind of changes up a little bit. We're basically even chances, if not slightly above normal precip for kind of the southern half of the area. Moving on now to the July outlook. Of course, we're already 8 to 9 days into July, but the Climate Prediction Center predicts a moderate probability of above normal temperatures in July, and so far that's come true. We are above normal, pretty well above normal, I would say, pretty much everywhere so far for the first 8 days of July, especially out west toward Del Rio. And the Climate Prediction Center predicts even chances for above or below normal rainfall in July for the eastern half of the region, with a slight chance for below normal rainfall in the western half for July. And so far, July has been quite dry across the region. Now looking ahead to their July, August, September outlooks, again, the Climate Prediction Center predicts moderate probability of above normal temperatures in July, August, September. Predicts a slightly enhanced probability toward above normal rainfall for July, August, September across the eastern half of the region, with even chances elsewhere. Let's look at the ENSO outlook. Currently, we have ENSO neutral conditions present. Equatorial Pacific sea surface temperatures are near to slightly below average, and the tropical atmospheric circulation is consistent with ENSO neutral. The forecast calls for about a 60% chance of ENSO neutral continuing through summer, then with roughly equal chances of La Nina and ENSO neutral during the fall and winter months. So we're looking at ENSO neutral and maybe possibly trending toward a weak La Nina as we get to the fall and the winter. So let's look at the tropical outlook. Of course, as we know, summer and the fall is tropical weather season for us. Texas hurricane climatology, the peak hurricane season for Texas occurs in mid-August through September. And the greatest threat for south central Texas due to hurricanes or tropical storms is due to inland flooding from heavy rain. We can occasionally get tropical storm force winds across much of the region, as well as even low-end hurricane force winds across our far southeastern counties, such as DeWitt and Lavaca counties. This most recently occurred with Harvey in 2017. And of course, we can also get tornadoes from the outer rain bands of the hurricane and tropical storm. But the main issue for us here in south central Texas is flooding due to heavy rain from these tropical systems. So I mentioned the ENSO outlook earlier, and that actually can have an impact on our tropical weather. You can see here, this is Gulf of Mexico tropical cyclones, and actually Texas is twice as likely to be impacted by a tropical storm or hurricane during La Nina or ENSO neutral versus El Nino. So with ENSO neutral expected this summer with the potential for a weak La Nina by late summer to early fall, the tropics could be a little bit more active this year. And with that in mind, this is the National Hurricane Center's Atlantic hurricane season outlook for this year. And they give a 60% probability for an above normal hurricane season, with a 30% probability for a near normal hurricane season, leaving only a 10% probability for a below normal season. So Hurricane Center is fairly confident in at least near to above normal tropical weather season this year in the Atlantic Basin. Moving on now to the fire weather outlook. Again, we do have drought conditions returning to the region. However, fuel moisture and dryness are beginning to decrease, but they're still not all that particularly dry quite yet, so that's good news. And looking at the energy release components, they're generally running near average for this time of year. The National Interagency Fire Center predicts normal wildland fire weather potential for the summer. So fire weather concerns will obviously increase as we go along here this summer if the rest of the summer remains hot and dry. But for now, we're not all that concerned about fire weather conditions. So in summary, the impacts outlook summary for temperatures, we're expecting above normal impacts due to temperatures. For heavy rain, flash flooding, river flooding, expecting slightly below normal impacts. We could see some impacts if we do get a tropical system to impact the region. Fire weather, again, expecting near normal impacts from wildland fires. And then for tropical weather, above normal impacts are possible. I want to stress that it's possible for above normal impacts from tropical storms and hurricanes. Again, ENSO neutral presently with La Nina possible later. Hurricane Center forecast calls for a 60% probability of an above normal season. This doesn't necessarily mean that we will be impacted by a tropical system, but of course it does increase the likelihood of that occurring. So that concludes the outlook. It was a pretty short one this time around. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact us at our public line. You can email me directly. And of course, for uh, all kinds of weather information, you can check out our website at weather.gov/Austin or weather.gov/San Antonio. And that concludes the webinar.